Well, today I'm going to show you my new toy, which is the Valeton GP-200. Recently I got my hands on a new modeling unit which is quite affordable, which is called the Valeton GP-200. And this one comes in around 300 euro, I think. And it's very flexible and it sounds really good. I got it yesterday and played around with it maybe 2 or 3 hours, and yeah, I can show you some sounds I created with that thing before I will show you the details of the effects and amp models. So the sound you were hearing before, it's the Bogner Ecstasy model, and yeah, it sounds like that. And this is a patch with a dual rectifier windage mode. PV6505. Diesel VH4. JCM 800. Savage 120. And Marshall Plexi 50 watts. And honestly, I think they nailed the characteristics of the real amps. Really, it's one of the best 6505 emulations I've ever heard in a modeling amp. Also, if you choose it, if you choose an amp model here, everything is set at noon. But to me, it sounds like a 6505 sounds if you mic it. I own the real amp, and it's even more realistic. At least that's the gain structure and sound is concerned than the models in the XFX. The XFX, they're more dynamic and anything. You have more tweaking possibilities, but who needs that? I mean, if an amp sounds like the real amp, sounds good with everything at noon, that is how a modeling unit should be designed, in my opinion. And that is the case here, which is really impressive, I must say. As you can see, I'm using a distortion pedal here, so let's turn it off. Sounds like a 6505. Of course, the IRs, so the cap section, is very important for the overall sound. And that is also another big benefit of the unit. It comes with third-party IRs. And also it doesn't come with 2000, like the XFX. It comes with maybe, I didn't count them, but I don't know, maybe 30 or 40. And maybe 20 of them are third-party IRs. As you can see, we have the York Audio here. We have some Gens something, Sigma. And one I was loading from Ownhammer. But honestly, the ones that came with the unit here, the York Audios, they sound phenomenal. The ones made by Valeton here, they're okay. But if you don't want to mess around with thousands of IRs, and also you don't want to buy additional IRs, you have them here. And if you cannot get a good sound with that York Audio, then you cannot get a good sound with any other third-party IR, I think. So I can show you some of the IRs. York Audio Marshall here, 1x12, Mesa, Orange, and I think I was using the I don't know, maybe this one. And also what is very nice is they added a low and a high cut here, which is very important in a live situation to get rid of the annoying bass frequencies, which consume a lot of power, and you don't need them in a live situation. And also you can get rid of the high end sizzle if it's annoying in your ear. To me, the ultimate 6505 sound is boosted with a Maxon or a Tube Screamer. Maybe the sound you can hear on the Bullet from a Valentine, the first album, the Poison album. To me, that is the ultimate high gain guitar tone. And it's similar to the one of the Pliny plugin by Newer DSP. And also, I got that sound after 5 minutes with that unit. So it's harder to get the Pliny sound with the Newer DSP Quad Cortex than with this unit here, I think. So honestly, why you should pay 3,000 euro for something if you're happy with the sound you get out of it? Maybe 200 or 300 euro unit. Anyway, there are a couple of things which are not, or which can be improved in my opinion. And this is especially the case for the delays. So let's turn on the delay. And it comes with some usable delays, but they're all mono, except of the ping pong delay, which is stereo, of course. But the ping pong delay, it's just cutting the lows, and that is something which I wouldn't do necessarily with delay. In fact, I would just cut the highs in most cases to create some effect like the old analog tape delays. Because then the delay doesn't get in the way of your playing. You can still hear what you're playing, but you create the background noise that the solo lines are sticking out of the mix. But you don't have any kind of control over the equalization in the delay block. And that is really annoying. Because, yeah, I would like to do that with the ping pong delay, because usually first thing with delay is I like it in stereo, which yeah, the ping pong delay is the only one, but it doesn't allow me to equalize it how I want it. So I think that is a little bit weak. That said, the other delays, which are all mono, there are some delays which sound really great, or at least usable for me. because in a live situation I don't use stereo sounds, so usually I would use a mono delay. For example, the vintage rec delay, you have a tone control here. I wish they would add that in a later firmware to all the other delays. And also in the reverb block, it's the same. You don't have a tone control here. I like to use dark reverbs. And the whole reverb is usable for my taste. Because it sounds dark already, but also here. They should add some kind of equalization control. Honestly, if I would design a unit, I would like to design it in a lot of ways like this unit. To keep it very simple but good sounding. But what I would do personally is I would add a low and high cut in every effects block. Because it's really important to cut highs and lows for some applications. For example, if you want to get rid of the flubbiness in the bass, you should maybe cut the lows a little bit in front of the amp. And if you want to make it a little bit more usable, a little bit more fat sounding in a live situation, you should cut it after the amp, which is very important. Luckily, they have the high and low cut here in the IR block. So you don't have to use a distinct EQ block for cutting highs and lows. And you have the EQ block here. We could choose also the famous Mesa 6-band, 5-band graphic EQ for that kind of V-shape that many people like, especially with mid-heavy amps like the Mesa Mark series amps. And it's good your sound, but honestly, still I didn't need it in my patches because the amps, they sound great with everything at 12 o'clock. Also, I mean, if you listen to the characteristics of the JCM 800, sounds like a JCM 800 to me, with that pronounced high mid-range. Of course, I'm boosting it here. Yeah, but they made a good job, I think. And what else do we have? We have, of course, other effect blocks here, modulation effects. For example, let's check out maybe the phaser. Maybe it's the MXR phaser here. Sounds also okay for me. I'm not familiar with the phaser, the real thing, so I cannot judge if it sounds good or bad, but to me, to my ears, it sounds good. My last album, Like Ecstasy, I used a couple of phaser sounds from the XFX, and that was my first experience with phasers, and this sounds similar to me. So yeah, it has a phaser. Also, you can place the effects here around in any position you want them. It's very important. You have the distortion pedals here. For example, the green OD, which I'm using at the moment, the PV. Also here they are saying what is modeled after. TS808 in this case. And let's turn off the phaser. You can also choose the Scream OD. Just maybe the, I don't know what it is, Tube Screamer. Is it the Maxon OD? Not very familiar with the Tube Screamer history. There's a fat switch. And very important is the noise reduction. If I turn it off, you can immediately hear the background noise. And you have two gates here, but for the gates it's yeah, to me it's always very important that they don't cut the if you're playing some legato. This is modeled after the ISP decimator pedal, and yeah, just one knob, but it works somehow like you want the gate to work. Gives you a tight rhythm tone, but you can still play leads. That is how the gate should work, in my opinion. Also, you have another pre-amp effects section here, where you have wahs and an acoustic simulator, the Boss AC thing. Just didn't try out, of course, it's not for distorted tones. Also, you have some compressors, and you have also boosters here. So you can use, for example, the BB preamp by Exotic instead of using a distortion pedal. Boosting ramp. And yeah, there you have it. So, what is my overall opinion of that thing? Honestly, I was impressed when I got it, because after 5 minutes I got a sound which I like to play around for 2 hours. And also, as I said, it doesn't need that much tweaking. Choose an amp model and it sounds great. It has third-party IRs which work with every amp model, I think. You don't have 100 okay sounding amps where you have to find out somehow the model which you could get the best results. The ones you have are the ones you need, and it sounds great. I wish it had the low and high cuts, or at least the EQ controls in the reverb and the delay. Wish it had a little bit more stereo effects, like the stereo delay, dual delay maybe, or also the widening effect, which I like to use, which delays one side of the stereo panorama a couple of milliseconds. And yeah, also I was not that impressed by the choruses, but I found out one which sounded pretty good in front of the amp, which was this one. So maybe you could get some kind of Zakk Wylde-ish chorus sounds, but you cannot get that. At least I couldn't get that wide chorus crunch sound if you put the chorus after the cap block, because then you need maybe control over the stereo panorama, and that is where this unit is lacking a little bit, I think, the stereo things. But other than that, it sounds really great. I think they nailed the amps, and for a live situation, as I'm using only mono signals live, I think I would be totally happy with that. Currently I'm using the Moog G300, where I have to say the amps and the caps, they didn't sound that good like in this unit. So maybe I will use this live in the future. It also comes with MIDI in and out, and also with an effects loop. You can also add another expression pedal. So it's basically everything you need for live use. And for that price, around €300, yeah, it's a no-brainer, and it gives the other competitors on the market a hard time, I think, especially in that price range. The cheaper pod, Line 6 pod something, not the Helix pod, the cheaper one, and also the Moog G300, which are way more expensive. Yeah, they sound great. So please post your comments below in the comment section. Other than that, subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.